Hi, you guys. This is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Love and Marriage DC. I just wanted y'all to see a better vantage point, if you will, of what's going on here because it's giving, and I just felt like y'all couldn't see it. But anyway, I digress. So everything started where it left off last time, where they were at the dinner party, the vegan dinner party at that, and Chris was like, "Look, when I met up with this man, he seemed like he was distraught and crying over you." And so she was like, "Of course, he had a tenderoni. I'm 40 and he's 60. What you thought? Of course he gonna feel some type of way. Like, look at me." And so they were like, "What? He was 60, child." Everything went all the way left because Ashley Silva started setting it off and was like, "Okay, so what is going on here? Like, everything that you talking about ain't making sense." This heifer talking about she had to get her car back from him because he didn't have his own place. He did not have his own vehicle. How you 60 years old, you was in the league and you ain't got the bare minimum. What is going on here? Somebody please explain to me. I ain't understanding. This man was living in his parents' basement. She was told that she was led to believe that he had a basement apartment, but it was not straight up like, okay, I'm living in my parents' house. Like, I'm just like, child. So the parents blessed it and all this other stuff. And so they was like, we not understanding. So she was like, well, I wasn't going over there when COVID was going on. So why would I do that? So Ashley ran up and was like, okay, I hear you. But at the same time, you still married him during COVID. You ain't making sense. How you not know where he lived? Like, you dumb. This ain't making sense. So they went back and forth over that. That had me dying. It was a lot. So divorce is out there. Then went on ahead and sent them papers out. It is what it is. So now Monique is trying to do these games. She over here wanting to know, she wants to know about some stuff. And so it's supposed to be couples questions. And so since Winter is there and she is no longer with anybody, and this is the person that was going back and forth with Ashley, Ashley does not fool with her. It's not fool with her. And so she's like a relationship expert or something like that. And so Ashley stayed reading her, and her husband was like, it's always like that. Why is it always like that? Somebody that does nails, but they nails ain't never done. Somebody who does hair, but their hair ain't never done. And people who are relationship experts and then they don't have a relationship to speak of. Why is it like that? I was like, child, I mean, that's something I've always noticed too. That's something I've always said. That has always been something that was always hilarious to me in a lot of cases. Like, especially way back in the day, I guess you could say. Nowadays, like some of these makeup artists, hairstylists, and all that, some of them actually do come and you can see. But at the same time, like back in the day when a lot of people were like, I knew that I was in school with that were doing hair, they were like, yeah, or they did nails. They were like, I'm tired. I done did everybody else hair and I don't feel like doing my own. Like, it is what it is. So before we can even get to the games, they back at it again. And she was like, I don't understand. Like, how did you not see no paperwork? You over here agreed to get with this man. Like, I don't understand. And so she was like, well, his family was cooperating. And she was like, girl, why? This is not making sense. You did not go over there and see where this man lived, but yet you felt safe enough to leave the house and go get married to him still when COVID was going on. So, girl, bye. Like, it was a lot going on. So Monique asked the question. And Silva, quick Silva, he put his own spin on the question and was like, okay, so what's everybody's celebrity crush? I was like, oh my gosh, no. And so she was like, well, just snatch the mic from me. I was like, oh my God. And it was hilarious because he was like, well, I already know my wife is going to say the Uncle Jesse from Full House is hers. And Chris was like through. I don't know what that was about. He was like, Uncle Jesse. I was like, no. Look, that man is fine. And she said what she said. She was like, look, I met that man when I was like 8 years old. And the fact remains, that man's still fine right now. And I said, girl, I know that's right. There's some people right now who I have lived for since I was a child, and they still fine right now and over the age of 60. And I'm like, how? You must have did something right in your life. But yeah, he was over here, my Uncle Jesse. And she was just like, that's her safe go-to. And the reason why she even said what she said, as far as her response is because people want to sit up here and try to make it seem like because you have connections that you have a better chance of being able to talk to somebody. Now, that wasn't the way that Winter saw that. And so he says that his celebrity crush is Rihanna. Now, had he never been in the world that he's in right now, Rihanna will probably never say hey back to him, wave or nothing. But now, because he is who he is, he would have those. He has that connection, and so Winter wasn't seeing it that way, and it is what it is. And he was kind of looking like, okay, I feel kind of slighted, but go off though. Like, don't try to make it seem like because of who I am, that's the only reason why she'll talk to me. Like, I ain't, dusty. But she had to read because Winter tried to come for her, and she was like, no, I ain't no bum. Like, when you finna try to make it seem like I'm ugly, like, because I was saying the same thing. I was like, wait a minute now, she real pretty. We ain't finna go there. I hate that she feel the need to get surgery. Like, she has her breast done. I'm like, dang, sis. But she is beautiful, though. She is beautiful. So, I mean, people would roll up. So, I mean, it just is what it is. So then we see Irena and her husband, Jamie. We find out that she loves running and she does these marathons and all this other stuff. So this particular day, they're walking, running, talking, and all this other stuff. And so after they started running, after they ran, they're having conversations, and they want to meet up with their son. They're having a situation where the son is supposed to get ready to go out with them because they're gonna have son father time. Both the sons are gonna get together with Jamie, and they're gonna talk and have fun and do what they need to do. Of course, they talked about what all happened at the dinner. Ain't that special. So it is what it is. But Jamie and his feeling, because he was just like, how you gonna sit up here and be at the dinner table and tell all my business? You always talking about don't tell nobody our business, but you at the table telling all our business, because finally the dirt came out about how he was out here thotting and bopping. But then she gonna try to save face, so to speak, but not really, by saying, man, I did my dirt too. And I'm just like, girl, that's not an excuse. Like, y'all both was just out here doing what y'all was doing. Like, the fact that he didn't get caught, I don't know why you said that, like, oh, that's a badge of honor or something. Like, girl. But, girl, what in the world you had going on that you got caught? I don't know, most women get away with it so much easier because men are so sloppy when it comes to stuff like that. They be doing the least. Like, I can't. But she got caught up. So he had something to say something about that. I was like, child. Anyway, she told him that he needed to link up with the son. And the son, Jamie Jr., whatever his name, Jamie Jr., he rolled up in a Suburban or something. And he was supposed to, you need to be getting ready. And, he basically was like, I talk to him every day. And she was like saying, what's up? And when was the last time you got a haircut? And little random stuff like that don't count. Anyway, Monique and her family are getting ready to go to Africa, which I've told y'all before. I saw all during COVID on her Instagram where that is something that they did. And it looked like a very amazing experience. And so they have everything ready, the passports, all of that. So, of course, they rehashed what happened the night prior, which was him basically telling her to hush. And she was like, that Alabama versus Jersey thing is not what it is. Like, don't do this. And so he was just like, that's just a less harsh way of saying, be quiet, shut up, and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, child, not saying the Alabama. I was just like, don't. I kind of hid a little bit when she said the Alabama. I said, don't do this. Don't do it. Don't do this. Yeah, but I mean, like, if I tell somebody to, like, hush, shut up, or whatever, or something like that, like, 99% of the time, I am playing. Because I don't believe it just, like, you got to be done did something awful, which I very rarely let anybody even get in my space to where I'm going to have to get nasty and mean towards them to convey, you need to leave me alone. You need to not say nothing. You need to hush it up. All of that. But yeah, he did hush her. he shushed her. and all of that. And it is what it is. So Winter ended up FaceTiming her, and within the conversation, she was like, "Yeah, you need to make time for your husband and spend time with him." And so he was like, "I hear what was said. I heard what was said in the conversation, and we do need to spend time together." And they in the confessional, and he told us, "Yeah, we need to go on ahead and do certain things." And you basically talk about have sex on the continent and mark their spot and all this other stuff because they were just trying to do what they were doing. I'm like, child, it is what it is. Do what you do. But anyway, they getting ready to go, and they're not where they used to be because, as he's already explained before, they are friends. They are friends, but the romance isn't there anymore, and that's not that's not it. So we end up seeing Winter at her home, and her mama dropped by, and of course her mama has heard about what is going on with all this scamming and all this divorce and all this. And so she let her mama know that she ended up going to a dinner party at Monique and Chris's house. And the mama wanted to know, was it a nice house and all that? I'm like, that's a typical mama for you, for real. But anyway, she was like, yes, it was a very beautiful home. It was really nice. And so she was like, yeah, it was brought up about him and how he was acting like he just was so in love with me and all this other stuff. And her mama feels some type of way because she was the person who was like, you know what? He is older. I felt like because he's older, he would have his life in order. And so she felt some type of way because she was like, I don't want my mama to feel like it's her fault. You know what I'm saying? But she was like, I really thought he had his life together. Like, he's older than you. Like, all that financial stuff should be squared away. Like, what in the world? He was not a man who was about his business. Then she let her mama know they got served at the old house by the people who he was partners with because they said that he out here scheming and scamming. So she was like, she didn't want the kids to find out. It's just too much was going on. So anyway, we end up seeing Ashley and Arena meet up. Now, this is when Ashley starts to let us know that she's had work done, and Arena is saying she ain't never had no work done before, but she wants to get her butt lifted or something. Tell me why she said, Ashley said that she loves her own butt because her butt is natural. And she was like, yeah, we love it too. And I'm like, ma'am, are you saying you and your husband gaze upon her buttocks and love what y'all are seeing? Is that what you mean with the we? Is that what the we was about? Oh my gosh. Or were you trying to emphasize it and say, no, not just you, me, and you love your booty? Like, what is going on? Anyway, she's at a Botox appointment because she sweats. I guess she sweats profusely. I don't know. Some people don't like to sweat. And so she wants to get injections under her arms, Ashley. And so she was like, I'm not scared of needles. I get Botox here and there and all this other stuff, even though I don't really need it, but I'm getting it under my arms today and that's it. And so that's what they're going to do. They about to do the Botox. That broad look like it's everything. I need to zoom in on it to see if I can see the name, because if it's holding them up, well, you know what? She might have the lifting that happened with the surgery. So, because for me, my breasts have always been naturally sagging. I live for a good bra that'll hold them up. So it is what it is. But anyway, she had the session. They were talking. They seemed really cool. They seemed like good friends. But later on, we found out that's not the case. But anyway, they kind of rehashed what was going on at the party because Arena wanted to know what all the back and forth was about, because it seemed like she was just not here for Winter. And she was like, how you a marriage expert? You had all this scam going on with him. Your first relationship didn't work out. Like, I understand. Like, that wasn't your fault. The man did what he did. But what is going on now? It's just too much going on. Like, it ain't making sense. It ain't adding up. And so she reiterated again, like, how you gonna sit up here and say, I'm not leaving out the house because it's COVID. I'm not finna come over there and see where he live. I'm just gonna trust what he say and what his family say. But I left out the house to go get married. It's given I wanted to say I have a ring yet again. I don't know. I hate how there are so many women out here who are desperate to say, I have a man, I have a ring, and they are not in it for the actual relationship and the work that goes into having a happy marriage / happy relationship. I am not here for that. If I ever get with anybody again, I want to, as I've always wanted to be, I want to be happily married. I want to be happy within my relationship. Nothing is perfect. There might be some disagreements from time to time, but it should not be anything that will make you want to throw in the towel. I'm sorry. I've seen successful Black marriages, and that's what I want. My parents were the prime example, and they still kicking, and I'm here for it. Anyway, so yeah, they got to get a feel for what's going on with Winter, and they just having their little moment where they talking. So then we end up seeing the sons go out with Jamie, and they're boxing and working out and all this other stuff. And this is when Quicksilver comes, and he comes with one or two of his kids, and they're working out. And this actually was an intervention slash good little talk he wanted to have. His daddy set it up because he wanted him to talk to his son because he'd been in that life. Because he was just like, look here, I done been there. I don't want you to have to deal with what I done dealt with. I done been shot before. This man was paralyzed. And God saw fit for him to get up and walk again and run and whatever else. Because there are a lot of people who get paralyzed and they never are able to walk, or they are never the same again. So the fact that he got shot, he turned his life around. And it's just so much other stuff. And he had to tell him about himself, because he was like, my mama died when I was really young. My daddy died when I was like 18, and I've been on my own. I've taken care of myself since I was 18, and that's it. I hit the ground running doing what I had to do. So he was like, I appreciate all the things that Quicksilver is saying to me. And I'm like, I hope you take heed, because a lot of people say that in the moment and then they do what they do. They do whatever they're going to do. Hopefully you really going to take heed, because a lot of people, they just say stuff just to say something in that moment. So it is what it is. So anyway, Winter wanted to have a moment where the other ladies that were at the event would meet up so that they can talk and, kind of build a friendship. And since Monique is not there, she's usually the mediator, she's in Africa, so she's not going to be there. So everybody else is going to be there. Tasha, Arena, and Ashley. So Ashley came a little late, and they talking, and she was just like, Winter was like, I don't know which Ashley I'm going to get. Am I going to get the one that I got at the pop-up event, or am I going to get the one that was at the vegan dinner? Well, after everything was said and done, she got the one that was at the vegan dinner, because she was just like, I have people who pay in order to get certain information out of me. Like, I ain't got time for this. Like, you want certain opinions from me and certain things, certain services, you're going to have to pay for them services. And so, they were talking about certain things that were said at the table. She was like, I didn't have a problem with what your husband said about how there are people who have these certain professions, but it's not lining up with what's actually happening in their lives. And she said she didn't take any slack, because there was nothing to take negative from that. Because that really is a fact, that like in most cases, more cases than not, that's the way it is. They really be out here not having their nails done, but they are great nail technicians. Hair be towed down to the ground, but they can, hair be looking immaculate of the clients that they serve. I'm just saying, I don't know about these relationship advice people and all of that. I don't know about all that, but it just is what it is. But a lot of them don't have no marriage, don't have nothing. And I'm like, how you going to tell me? I'm not really trying to take advice from people like that. But they rehashed a lot of that stuff. And she was just like, I don't understand. I don't understand how you going to say all of this when you got all this going on. And then you still, like she reiterated again, it was COVID. You didn't go to this man's house. It ain't making sense. It ain't adding up. Why would you marry this man? And all this stuff was going on. Like, how do you not know? This makes no sense. So yeah, it just is what it is. It seems as though they're never going to get along. And I'm just over it. It is what it is. Anyway, that was the episode. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this recap review. Please give this video a thumbs up. Let's talk about it down in the comment section. And subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.